you're gonna have a chance to do some epic shit tonight.
Would you mind?
Maybe we'll see.
I tried to do last.
I tried.
Oh, you're making my table again? No. Okay. I'm gonna head back to the house. We just got accepted on a house.
No, I haven't announced that yet.
Yeah, thanks. It's been a few
Don't
days.
give me no damn titles yet.
I've been with my mom when she bought a house, and this one I was like, I get her house, like, you know, when it was to do all like, and I didn't even do anything. I did with my mom.
Yeah, you're like, this is genius.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I tried to do last year, man. I was trying to convince them. I was like, we can blow the roof on our thing. They can fall on it.
And my Christmas score is 35.
A bunch of their L7.
You leave the mortgage just for fun.
Oh, so let me check. Let me check the,
So this is the Facebook one. We're sharing the YouTube one right now. Thank you for that. We just have to do a little technical setting up first, but we'll talk about that's all.
Yeah, my nose itches.
Okay, audio quality is good.
yes. Is it?
Yes.
Cool. All right, never mind. We can change that.
Do you mind sharing this one?
Already did.
Awesome. And then
Look at this guy. The head first.
On top of shit.
That's right. There's Peter.
okay. Yeah. Well, now that we're getting started, we're finally we're sitting at Blackwater Brewing Company in Bryan, Texas. Now, we've been fortunate enough to have a player within our group that worked here, talked to his boss, and we have this lovely venue today to play some Dungeons and Dragons. We're going to have 5 tables running. But right now, we're going to talk a little bit about dungeon mastering and getting players into your storyline. Ways to get them into your story without railroading them in or just sticking them in a tavern every time to get information. So we're going to start off with just a little bit of an intro, starting with our favorite AL legal backgrounds and introductions. As always, I'm Alberto Coronado, DM for the area crime colonization and resident player killer. And my favorite background architect is going to be an adaptation of the Outlander. It was my first choice whenever I really started getting into D&D, and I just love the ability for them to work both in nature with Zentarians, people with a little more of a darker nature, without fully committing to that evil or more nefarious side.
I probably
Go ahead. So I love the, I don't know which camera to look at.
Look at either one. There's two, yeah. That's Facebook.
Yeah.
That's Facebook. That's YouTube right now. So it's either one.
Which one do you like more?
It works with you.
If you want, we can snuggle when you're
Oh yeah. The mustache.
So I am a huge fan of the custom background, which is AL legal, but in terms of like one of the pre-generated backgrounds, I love the Howlin' one from Curse of Strahd. In terms of the other backgrounds, it's by far the worst because you start out with 0 gold, nothing to write decently in-depth, backstories for my characters. And with the Hallowed one background, I wrote probably the least descriptive one because he was being haunted by this force. And the background that I wrote was sort of him trying to tell his story to someone, but he could only speak about it when this force wasn't, nearby. So it's kind of a creepy background story or a creepy background.
It goes kind of following the characters throughout their storyline. I like that.
As far as for me, if I had to pick one background, I would probably say I really, really like the Charlatan.
Oh, okay.
I like that. I like being able to stealth, man. Any character I've ever played, I like being able to stealth.
Oh, I've noticed. DM for him a little bit, and then he likes to hide in the back. He runs away.
He says that he's an avid player killer, but he ain't killed nothing yet.
I have a couple characters tonight, so I'm a little excited.
But even aside from just ropes, like even with fighters and stuff, with your skill, it's such a great skill. You can get places of advantage over your enemies, or you're there to get your shot off. You can sneak past an entire encounter if you're rolling. It's to me, stealth is one of the best skills in the game if you use it properly.
So with the Charlotte, do you do like in-depth backgrounds of your characters?
I do.
So what's your favorite? What do they call the Charlatan? Your favorite like ruse archetype? They have a list of like what you did, illegal things,
things I like to do. What I like to do is I like to do And I never really use it without, I don't use it without thinking about it. It's just like I kind of do it. But I like being able to talk, like con someone through like conversation, like, oh, if you help us do this, we can do
So
this.
you're a con man. That's talk.
Okay. We can certainly expedite some gameplay a little bit.
Oh, yeah. It helps out a lot. I mean, obviously, if you fight your guess, if you roll that DAP 1, but
It could always be worse.
a natural one's pretty bad. That one can be worse. I think the only thing worse than that is the dice falling off and be able to explode it.
All the madness and mayhem. Oh, got a couple other dice for tonight. For those of y'all that are just checking out these miniature boxes on the table, we actually do raffles just about every week to try and entice players and DMs to get miniatures, to get different Storm King things, and just accoutrement for their tables to make them more interactive. Even though some people don't like maps, and to interact with their characters and keep them engaged kills a little part of me, a lot of me every time. But right now we're talking about stories. So staying away from the maps when you're trying to RP with your characters, you want to talk with them. We're going to talk about your favorite place to get characters' information besides the tavern. We happen to find ourselves in a brewery tonight, so we're going to do a little bit of that back and
So we're
forth.
kind of in a tavern.
Just kind of. Iron. But we are going, let's see. I'm going to have to go ahead and say my favorite is either going to be the blacksmith or the alchemist shop. Depending on what size of a town you're in, if it's a lot smaller one, you have a really rudimentary blacksmith that can convey some really hard work and hard taught lessons, or an alchemist in a bigger city like Mulemaster or Longsword Coast that has some money and some information on something of a sorcerous nature, some ruins, some cool text, bits of books and information that could lead characters into a storyline, as opposed to just saying, hey, you see this dungeon off to the side, let's go crawl through. I don't really like railroad players, anything like that, unless we're doing an expedited game or getting guys.
I like the general store. To me, the general store is not just for adventurers. Like, how many common folk need to go see the blacksmith? How many common folk need to go to the field? Like, these things aren't a normal location for commoners and villagers to go. And so I like to go to the general store where, bro, pots and pans, a knife, These are all things that like a regular NPC that has literally no purpose in the story could go. And they talk about all the rumors they hear about. Oh, did you hear about the monsters raiding people in the north of the town, or the pirates in the sea, or whatever? Like, this guy who owns this general store hears all of these rumors, and so when they go visit him, he goes, "Hey, I don't know if you have any available time, but if you do, I'd be really appreciative if you could go check out this. A lot of the villagers are going to complain about this issue or two." So it's sort of a way to incorporate NPCs that they don't actually talk to.
Yeah, I like that a lot. It's really good storylines across where people actually engage in the realm instead of just getting drunk, talking about stories of revelry or talking about their hardships. Nice way to let people in. Christian.
My favorite place, it's for gathering information, and hell, it can even lead to finding a party member, and it's one no one ever thinks of, is the library.
Oh, never would have thought the library.
I did send my character to the library 2 weeks ago.
Because the thing is like, but as a DM, we think about stuff like that. But players, I've never had a player think of that on their own.
Yeah.
I've been like, they'll ask me like after a game, like, where would be a good place to go? I'm like, there's always a library. Because everyone's always writing something down. That's where records are kept. That's where family lines are kept. So like, this person relates to this person, this person, this person. Hell, you might even find a spell book there, or let's say there's a game that's been in the area for a couple of years, you might find information about them there, and that can lead to this guy has been hunting this game for a while, so that can lead you to an important NPC or even a player character if that's their background.
Good evidence.
Yeah,
It's headphones.
and it's one of my favorite things to do. It's definitely for the library.
Well, that's really nice. The library is a great resource. I wouldn't even thought about that. One of the resources I like to stick with giving pieces of information to characters ties into Adventures League with factions. I know we're talking a little bit about that with Case and one of your characters that just doesn't have a faction outright. If you want to play it like that. So that's going to be our next topic, is talking about factions, their uses within the Adventures League, how to give your player story arcs, secret missions, and renown. Because that can tie into a lot of different, development in RP. We've got characters now at my Tuesday table you see later tonight that have 15, 20 renown almost, just because Adventures League dishes out, I think it's 1 renown for every 2 hours of play, for every 4 hours of play. So they've just been sitting down and running through the Storm King's Thunder sandbox, accumulating renown upon renown, and just getting higher with the faction, but they didn't know what to do with it first. It's very hard for new players within the last season and a half, because Adventures League didn't really give you enough. Try and tie it into the stories. They really left it up to you as the DM to incorporate those in. So within the 5 factions of the Centaurans, the Emerald Enclave, the Order of the Gauntlet, Harpers, and Lord's Alliance. Ugh. Those are really great ways to tie people into libraries, bits of information, rumors, and lore that are a little more cemented within your world. That way you can give characters something that's solid, pieces, instead of just working off the hints, or someone that was in a bar, someone that was in the general store, that was just lending you a room. There are lots of times where you can lend false bits of information as a DM, though your character is off. This is difficult at times for players to balance. Then they don't know when to trust you, whether you're giving them a story hook or when you're just trying to give a worthless NPC and encourage them to kind of move on. It's a nice balance that gives you a faction, or it's a nice balance that you have the opportunity to have within a faction, because they know that something within a faction is going to have some type of value inherently, because they've spent so much money within the realm working between these two. Guys, what else experiences with factions as a DM and as a player?
As factions as a DM, I haven't really had too many experiences with them because the games that I ran didn't really call for them so much.
Very module heavy.
Yeah, right now. Yeah. But I would have to say that factions can be a very good thing in the sense that it gives, if someone doesn't know what to do with their character, the faction gives them something to do. In the meantime, they figure something out for their character to do. But one thing that I haven't seen is people putting in the, I guess you could say, the human aspect into these different factions. For instance, like the Centaur. You know, Zentarum is widely known to be basically the assholes, right?
Thieves, murderers, rogues.
What if you put a guy in there who's actually trying to do something good, and he's using the black network to do something good with it? Or what if someone in the Order of the Gauntlet is trying to mess something up, and do something nefarious with their hierarchy? Because Order of the Gauntlet is very lawful heavy, so they have a hierarchy. What if someone in that hierarchy is using their power for something bad? And that could be something that you could use as a DM to like, oh, you have this player do this mission. They don't really think much of it until they start like, these missions are real dark. Why are these missions like real bad? And then they come to figure out this dude's corrupt, and now you have to figure out how to oust him without getting yourself your party killed and doing it through their laws and rules. Whereas in Zentarum, vice versa, figuring out how to not get assassinated by the Black Network.
That's an awesome way to story build, man. Like a lot.
Yeah, that's really unique. That's cool. My experience with factions. Okay,
Why is all your stuff always with him laughing? He just like looks.
Because I just remember, and all the notes are here. Oh, just one thing, as always. Notes so that you can remember things like this and shenanigans that happen at your table.
So, one, I died one time. Albert killed me, and my faction revived me, which was great. But what I'm super excited about is that on my Wednesday night character, I have now one secret mission completed and 10 renown, which means that I am rank 3 in the Lord's Alliance. And this campaign that we're running on Wednesdays is based out of Mole Master. And so with the Mole Master faction downtime activities, you can spend 3 downtime days to harass the local populace and learn one true fact about the module or the session for that night. And so it's obviously DM's discretion about what you learn, and every faction has their own, benefits. Zentarum can get illicit substances.
And that isn't another one.
No, this is
awesome.
elemental evil. Master. So,
what fun little series.
David has been kind enough to allow, the Hawks are the secret police typically, and if you get ranked for Lord's Alliance, you become a member of the Hawks as well. And so, having the Lord's Alliance be so pervasive throughout the Sword Coast, he's going to allow me to use the same downtime days for stuff in like Waterdeep and Neverwinter and other cities.
Okay.
Nice. I think that's pretty cool. Because, I don't know, no one ever really thinks about their faction and like what benefits their faction can offer them. They just go on all these missions and they're like, well, hopefully this mission doesn't kill you.
Too many people are worried about going and snacking stuff than actually getting into their character.
Yep. Yeah. And so like, also when you reach rank and create your faction, I think that you can buy an uncommon item and a rare item from your faction. And it's always available. It just costs like it does cost you the normal amount of items. I'm not sure about that, but so for Lord's Alliance, the rare item you can get is the Cave from Monster, which allows you to dimension door once a day, which is
Overpowered as hell.
Yeah, overpowered. So, I mean, like, it's an item.
Every
that I
room
can
you walk
always
into
find.
is anti-magic.
That's where Dungeon Crawls came out as DM.
Yeah. So I just think it's pretty. A lot of people just like go on all these faction missions and say, I hope this mission doesn't kill me. I hope this mission doesn't kill me. But they don't think about like what their faction can give them in return, such as downtime activities or they're not giving you magic items, but they're going to help
closer to it.
Yeah,
Because usually if you're
provide it if you can buy it.
If you're within the city, Adventurers League way to get Adventurers League Unearthed Arcana way to get magic items. Spend downtime days in gold searching the city, trying to find contacts. I believe it's 100 downtime days.
10 downtime days and 100 gold. There we go. And it's like you roll a d20 and you add like one.
And you add a DM discretion, get to decide what kind of items they discover. It really helps you as a DM to do some homebrew sessions, stuff like that outside of the Adventurers League, where you roll off the magic item table and try and see which items might benefit your character, where you can tie in storylines and arcs. With that, since we're talking about treasure a little bit, let's take a segue into our third part, talking about ways to entice your characters in your parties, ways to draw on your characters and your player's sense of honor, greed, murder, hope, or lust. Really ways that you can get invested in a storyline without just saying, hey, here's something that's going on. Well, I don't really care about that. You keep that trying to give them stories. If your characters just go along with it, they might not have a way or a means to tie their characters into it. So I feel that drawing them into a storyline really plays on a lot of their emotions. It's a lot of balancing you have to do as a DM to show them this is something that you're going to enjoy. It's something your character might do because of a sense of honor. But really, it gives you an opportunity to RP and take things to that random level, in my opinion, that anything can become possible in your game. Yes. Talking a little bit about ways that you hook your characters in, playing on their emotions. We're going to toy with them a little bit.
I wouldn't really call this loot, but it is something they did earn. I convinced my party to go on this quest because they were promised that if they changed their faction to Order of the Gauntlet, that they would get hypocrites. And so they did. They went on this quest. They killed the fire giants they were supposed to kill. They returned the treasure they were supposed to return, and it got hypocrites. So.
Weren't you going to kill those hypocrites like last week?
I'm sorry, but they keep out of that.
Every time. Have someone steal them.
Because they're out of comic, that means someone doesn't find them.
Yeah, perception rolls, man. Percentile dice. You can wander upon those hidden hypocrites.
Like that dragon.
Like that dragon. Yes.
But, on my end, I think one of the times I went really into trying to get someone to do something was, I had a buddy of mine, this was 3.5. He was playing a warlock, and he was just the kind of guy that was just trying to gather just knowledge in general. Well, they were in this maze, and while they were in the maze, the paladin had picked up this real evil source of energy. And they actually ended up finding the secret door that it was in, and inside they found 6 souls of heroes past that were chained into the wall. And each of these heroes were, good heroes, like neutral good, chaotic, and lawful good. And the paladin actually recognized a couple of them. And what they noticed is that their life was being drained underneath the floor. So when they tried to free these people, every person they successfully freed, the life force was drained. And so they managed to drain the last 40. So they dug up the floor, and underneath they found basically what looked like a glowing box. Turns out, it was a lich's phylactery.
It's like some Full Metal Alchemist shit.
Yeah, in a way. It was a lich's phylactery. And the warlock was the one who touched it. And it said, bring this to me in Drulag's Tower, and you shall be rewarded for bringing it. So they went to Drulag's Tower to try to find the lich. They never made it, because he ended up dying. But the thing was is that as he got closer, and this is what kept enticing him, is that the lich told him, he said, I will give you one of 2 rewards. I will not tell you the second, but the first, I will make you a lich. And if you don't think that's not going to entice somebody,
Especially a warlock. Oh, yeah. Isn't there one time where you had a party that they were talking to some cloud giants and the cloud giants asked the party something like, what do you desire most? Money, wealth, or power?
Oh, yes. That was a tower.
Power, knowledge, or wealth or something?
Yes, it was right after, it was actually close to the Elsen versus Tower encounter. There were some cloud giants and the Storm Kings Under Season that are going around doing a bit of mapping and cartography work. trying to lay out the ruins in old giant lore that was thousands of years old that they're relying on. So trying to get a fresh look at the realm, all the chaos is happening. So they're trying to figure out what all things are doing, locate some oracles, items, places they could use to try and bring order back. When my character stumbled into this cloud giant castle, they actually ran into a countess of sorts. Really liked combat. She ended up having a coliseum of sorts, a battle room within her complex that had 8 possible stone giants that could be animated within this area to start attacking, similar to stone golems. So we had the party attacking them. They were able to persuade her, instead of 5 of those, I think it was 5, maybe 6 party members trying to fight 8, they convinced her and persuaded her down to 6 in 2 rounds of 3. So they got the opportunity to, well, at least strategize how to fight these 3 at once, but they were straight quarterbacking it, throwing hunks of rock all around the arena, knocking players to the ground. And it was interesting seeing that the player not be able to pull out the full murder of hobo-ness, which got them into this, oh no, nothing can take us down, we are invincible, we can't be beaten. To really make people think critically about the situation at hand, how they were going to go about battling one another, how they were going to fight these massive stone giants just to try and get this reward. Once they were able to defeat them, the Countess offered them 3 choices. It was the choice between greed, knowledge, or power. And I gave the party the option to choose between one of the 3 as a reward to incentivize them without throwing money at them, without throwing just a straight hook at them. I gave them a choice to play into their characters and earn a little inspiration. So they decided to go with lead with knowledge. They had a debate for about 5-10 minutes. It was a little while trying to figure out which one. And they got to step out onto the edge of this frost giant ship, look out at the beautiful Sword Coast that hovered far away from Waterdeep, where they first got close to this castle. And they got to see a frost giant ship out in the distance. This frost giant ship would tie into about 5 more sessions throughout the next 3 months, where they went on to it, tried to sneak into it, battled it, lost, got stuck in the Lizard Marsh, trekked all the way along the Sword Coast, up and then hit into Miramar. There was a port last attack, but it was all started from one encounter, one arena where the characters had 3 choices. And it was that little arc, it got them enticed. It wasn't magic, it wasn't gold, it wasn't magic, it wasn't prestige, it was just knowledge. And that's all it really takes sometimes to further in your party. I can't tell you how much I love this Frost Giant ship. I've been writing things after this for weeks and weeks and weeks at this point, just because it's a storyline that I never thought would happen. I thought they were going to get wiped out of the ship, maybe make it out alive, but I think a couple characters were going to die, and that was going to be it. It's turned into one of the most enjoyable NPC and just sessions of my DM career.
I will throw this in there when it comes to enticing players. Do try to understand the type of person the player is. Because a lot of people, they sometimes just look at the character and they go, oh, I'm going to just get the character tonight. But if you really want an authentic experience of role play, because me, I didn't start with I started home. I did my own. And one thing that I did is that I knew my players. I knew that because they were off the trip. I knew this. I knew what was going to bring them together. They want to fight certain things, adventure, find other things like that. And it's so important to do that on it just by itself. For instance, a friend of mine, she ended up coming right, but there was some stuff that I knew about her, and I implemented that kind of story arc in the game itself. And you can, and she still loves it to this day. Yeah, I won't go into the personal here, but it actually ended up helping her get through it. And it drew her so far into the game that she couldn't stop coming. She wanted to keep playing every week.
That's one of the reasons that I adore D&D. It's just a way to take people away from the stressors of life, bring in real aspects of it, and be a fantasy world. Take on these challenges that you can't seem to surmount in the real world, and you can take magic, wit, cleverness, or a freaking battle axe if you want to your problems. And it's a great way to kind of stress relief. And that's why we find ourselves here, just trying to relax and get back a little bit. That's all. Anything? Got one more point to move on to, and then we can try and see if there are any questions. So right now, we're going to talk a little bit about DMing on the go. Last kind of topic for the night. DMing doesn't always have to be an experience where you lay out a table with maps, miniatures, books, and plan everything. You can literally just open up a book, and that's why I have this right here. It's my notes from afar. All the adventures that I've gone through, every time they follow a character, I write down the starting health, the AC. I make sure to mark how many of those are in here. So if I'm running an adventure, say at a park somewhere with 5 other players, all we need is a set of dice, some basic character sheets, and pencils. I talk to them about it, theater of the mind, and I can rely off of the notes that I've taken through previous adventures to throw lizard folk at them, ghosts, dragons, whatever just comes to mind because you already direct reference. You can approximate dice rolls for hits and damages. If you know that a javelin does D6, you know battle axes do D8 and D10, You're versatile or one-handed.
I spent the.
Yeah, there we go. A versatile weapon, one-handed too. But use approximations like that so you don't have to stick straight to the rules. It's a nice way to really expedite the process while still keeping people engaged. You don't have to be critical and number crunching when you don't want to. You don't want to fry people's brains. I encourage people to take notes all the time. It's one of the best ways to run a D&D session, simply in my opinion, as you get further into your career.
I don't think I've ever really DM'd on the go, but ever since I graduated college, I no longer use my backpack or school supplies. I now have the three books that I own: Player's Handbook, Storm King Thunder, and Kelsey Johnny Portal, and my notebook. I keep my dice in my computer and other tools. That's all I need. So typically, I get all of my monsters from the internet, which I don't have access to. It's weird if I don't have my phone with me. At that point, I would probably say my best guess. I feel like most, beast creatures, simple beasts have, 11 or 12 AC, somewhere between 30 and 59 health, based on, what they are, what level the characters are and stuff. And so I think at that point it sort of becomes like a guessing game, an educated guessing game.
Yeah.
So.
Any discretion.
Yes.
Your experience really does help.
Yes.
You want to see an adorable dog that I
If
can hang out with this weekend?
I got hit with a random session suddenly.
That never happens.
Yeah, that's only happened a couple of times.
He is.
But traditionally,
And it's like,
I kind of revert to maybe one of the games that I did back in the day, since I remember it. But depending on what we might have been talking about before, and we're like, man, I really want to play games. And can't drop. If you're a good storyteller, you got your dice on you, you can play anywhere. Yeah, additionally, if you are a DM and you know what you're doing, you can run a whole, adventure without having any combat, one combat at the very end. Have more of an investigative series where they're trying to solve a murder.
There's stories like Flames of Pythor and Vermont within the adventure that they focus a lot more. Yeah. They focus more on adventuring than actual part of the combat.
That is another option if you're DMing on the go. Literally all you need then is a set of dice, and you don't even really need paper at that point.
So the character's willing to think and talk a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a great way to have some sessions. All right, well, that's going to wrap us up for now. We're going to keep the YouTube link going now. We're going to shut off the Facebook one. We're about to have some raffles with miniatures, so we're going to stay online for that. Yeah, there's no question on that one. I'm about to go over that one, and we're going to answer some questions as we start doing the raffle. And I can see if there's a chance to chime in. But other than that, it's been a pleasure. Paul's actually going to be leaving us very shortly, so he's going to be having to Skype in. I'm going to try and force him to Skype in. Hey, you don't know those up yet? Not yet. You have to get the raffle tickets first. It's a mystery. What? Yeah, that's what we do every time. You know how long I've been wanting to open those today?
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I thought we always opened them up.
No, we open after the raffles are sold.
Definitely open.
After all the raffles are sold, my passing a little way to get a little miniatures going through your parties at different shops. Tokens, dice, now selling for $1 a piece, buy as many boxes as you can, and then just give them away. You end up with a little over a 50% win ratio for those that enter, so then everyone ends up getting something. You end up doing dice, miniatures, it's a great way to start. But we're going to pick up now, sell them please, leave it on. If you have questions, chime in, we're going to be answering them before we start actually session playing. Thanks for tuning in. It's been DM's Around the Round Table, session 10. Finally hit double digits. It's been a blast, guys. Stay tuned. And now the air conditioner goes off. All right. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, this